Okay, so we're working on Unit 9, Lesson 11. It's division as reverse multiplication. This is that flip it method. Again, you can watch that video on the song if you would like to. Okay, SAB page 393 through 394, simplifying and unsimplifying fractions. Okay, so we're just going to unsimplify to make the product divisible. So when we look at 2/3 divided by 5/7, you can't divide the top 5 by the bottom 7, right? It's not going to go in unevenly. You'd get a decimal number. So you can unsimplify, okay, and then look forward through it like that. So with unsimplifying, you're thinking about multiplying it by 1/1, right? 5/5, which is 1 whole, and 7/7, which again is 1 whole. 5/5 and 7/7 are equal to 1 whole, so you can multiply 2/3 by 5/5 and 7/7 to help solve the equation without changing the value of the equation. Because when we multiply by 1, it doesn't change the value of the equation. Okay, so that's really the reason that you can do it. You don't change the value of the equation. If it changed the value of the equation, you couldn't do it. Okay, so let's actually work some of these out. Okay, and this is just a long convoluted way of doing it, right? We multiply 5/5 by 7/7, and then you can actually do the division because 5/5 is 1, right? So the unsimplified numerator, you would have 2 times 5 times 7/5, and then these would cross out, so you would get 2 times 7. Okay, and same when you're looking at the denominator, you'd have 3 times 5 times 7/7, and the 7 would cross out. So then you'd have as the denominator 3 times 5. Okay, and then you'd end up completing the new equation with 7/5, our new denominator. So what you should notice is it's flip it. It's the flip it method. So go back up and look at that original equation, right? 5 divided by 7, 7 divided by 5. When we multiply by those whole numbers, you're flipping it. Okay, 7 times 2 is 14. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so really, I think the easier thing to think about is we replaced 5/7 with 7/5. Flip it. Okay, remember, flip it. So let's just work some of these out, and I'm not going to do this unsimplifying bit. I'm just going to show you the flipping it part. Okay, so you're going to leave some of this junk blank here. In fact, we're going to leave this whole little section here blank, and I'm just going to come straight over and I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to do 3/8 times 5/2, which is 15/16. Okay, let's try another one. 4/9 times, remember when we flip it, we change the division to multiplication. You should get 32/27, and then simplify down to 1 whole and 5/27. Okay, a couple more. 2/9 times 10/3. Now at this point, if you wanted to simplify, you absolutely could. Because what I noticed, oh, no, you can't, sorry. Go ahead, and 20 and 27, sorry. All right, moving on, 2/7 times 3/4, right? 6/28. Both can be divisible by 2. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 28 14 times, so 3/14. Okay, flip it method. So you can simplify and divide all in one step. Again, it's just flipping the original. So when we think about that, the numerator and the denominator of the divisor were switched. So it's the reciprocal. Learn that word, reciprocal. Okay, so you use the opposite numbers because you're dividing. So it would be like saying that A over B is the same, you know, A over B divided by C over D is the same thing as A over B, that is a B, divide times D over C. Okay, so all we have to do is flip them and multiply. 4/9 times 5 over 3, okay, which is 20 over 27. Alrighty. Let's just come down and practice some all the way down here at the bottom. So I just kind of skipped up at the top there. Think about just filling these in, practice them. I want you to pause the video, flip it, and then multiply. So flip it, flip that second one, 3 over 10, and then multiply. Oops, this is a 2. Sorry. Erase here. Okay. So flip and multiply 1/10 times 3 over 2. Okay. So go ahead and pause the video, try the rest of these, come back and check your answers. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully what you did was this kind of thing, flip them and multiply. Flip them and multiply. 15/16 times 4/5. Flip and multiply. Okay. Go back if you didn't simplify this one, go ahead and pause and simplify because it is possible to make this one a smaller fraction. So think about what you could do to make it smaller. Okay. First thing you might try is get rid of those zeros. 6/8. Now reduce 6/8. 3/4. Okay. So again, flip and multiply. 5/12 times 6/5. 5 times 6 is 30. 12 times 5, 60. This is the same as that previous one that I just did. Get rid of these. You get 3 over 6. Hopefully you notice right away 3 is half of 6, so 1/2 is an equivalent fraction. Okay, make these an improper fraction. 2 times 4, 8 plus 1 is 9. So I'm going to get 9/4. That's your first step. Flip it. And the cool thing when you flip it here is hopefully you notice right away these cross out. You get 1 over 1, right? 9 I can change to a 3 and 1. So I just simplified before I multiplied and I get 3 whole. You could simplify afterwards if you wanted to, but I think sometimes it's easier to see it if you can simplify before. So thinking about what they have in common. Okay, 15 over 32 times 4 over 3. And I'm going to simplify this one as well. So I'm going to cross this out. I'm going to make it a 1. I'm going to cross this out. I'm going to make it a 5, right? 5 times 4 is 20 over 32. Both divisible by at least by 2. If you know they're divisible by something more, like maybe 4, go for 4, okay? Which 4, they are divisible by 4. So you would get 5/8. Okay, all right, that's all for today. I will see you guys in class tomorrow to practice this flip it.